Hey, 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 everybody. We are here. Can you hear me? Can I get a 5x5 in chat? Hey, hey, hey. All right. Looks like you can hear me good. Okay. Good. Welcome to the show. This is Total Space Live. We are broadcasting the FireFly Alpha flight. Flight A001 or Dream. It's kind of confusing how they tout it out, but we're going to be broadcasting it to you no matter what they call it. And we're going to be just chilling and watching the show. We've got a little bit of B-roll going behind me while we wait for FireFly and Everyday Astronaut to go live. We'd like to right out the gate thank Everyday Astronaut for, you can see the tweet on screen there, for letting other YouTubers like ourselves rebroadcast his stream and be able to have some fun and hang out with their viewers and watch pointy ends go up and flamey ends stay down, we hope. So if you've got questions, go ahead and throw them out and I'll try and catch them. I've got a lot in front of me, so if I don't see your comment, I apologize. Chat's rolling a little faster than I'm used to.
I will also be.
That's okay.
I'll also be joining Mr. Astro Roadie to answer some of your questions today, folks. Thanks for tuning in to Total Space to watch FireFly Alpha launch today.
Hey, it's Anotherspacenut. Thanks for chiming in. So we've got a bunch of people in chat. We got Johnny Spacer. We got Rocket Launches Today as one of our moderators. We got Robert Rodney Uplinger. Freya Vampre.
We got the builders. Yeah. We got Ryan, who produces one of our in-house shows, The Space Update.
So welcome everybody. We are glad you're here. We are a little bit early before anything really gets going, mostly just so that we have plenty of time to do our little checks and things and have a chat with all of you before there's anything really happening. So we may have some quiet spots as we go along, but that's okay. Just try and keep things rolling. If you want to support what we do here at Total Space, we have a Patreon set up. It is patreon.com/totalspace. Or you can also find a link to it from our very own website, totalspace.net, where you can find all sorts of information about other places that we can be found, like a link to our Odyssey channel.
While you're doing the plug, I just want to say, as it stands right now, we've got 13 Patreon members. I've put a request in this morning for a special gift, and those are limited to 30 Patreons. So the first 30 Patreons will be getting a one-of-a-kind gift from Total Space, and there is a limited number of spaces left for that.
Yeah, we have a Patreon gift that we are setting up right now, and that's going to be limited to current patrons. We're ordering just a few more than we have patrons that we have right now. So if you want to get a special little gift, we're only going to do this once. There's an opportunity for you, and it's a complete surprise. I don't even know what it is, so. All sorts of things going on. Oh, I'm getting some pictures here. Let's see what we've got. Oh,
So
that
Mr. Astro
interesting.
Roadie is currently looking at the gift that we're going to be giving out as a limited edition run to our first 30 Patreons.
That's kind of a neat little thing there. You know, it's not gold plated, but it's still pretty dang fancy and nice. So
I mean, we're in debate as to whether it's going to be made with UV reactive materials, so it might even glow in the dark.
fancy.
Apparently my audio needs turning up. It's probably the fact that it's late night and everybody in my area is sleeping. So I'm just a little bit quieter than everybody else. I apologise.
So got a little bit of interesting fireworks going on behind us. If you haven't watched our recent short little snippet on FireFly, we put out a video earlier this week that kind of talks about them a little bit. Doesn't go into a lot of detail. We didn't want to take away the ability for Miko to do a deep dive on them.
It does, however, answer Johnny's question as to whether they use electric turbo pumps like Rocket Labs.
That indeed it does. That indeed it does.
I just want to say thank you, everybody. We've got 14 watching, 14 likes. So thank you very much for hitting that like button, guys. It's the most powerful tool on YouTube.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And if you do want to watch that FireFly video, I put a link in the description that you can easily open in another tab while you're waiting for things to really get going and excited here on the broadcast.
I apologise for the microphone quality, guys. It's currently coming in through USB at present. I am looking at an XLR to make my audio just top notch for you guys. So that will be coming over the next few weeks. It's me. You see, everybody's saying about my audio, but like, I think it's brilliant personally. But
yeah. Oh, pull me off camera. I have a battery to change. Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to change the battery and I will be right back on screen.
I mean, I really apologise for the audio, guys. I will be getting an XLR over the next few weeks, and hopefully that'll solve any issues you guys are experiencing. Great to see, Benno. If my audio is really low, Benno, then you should come in and host it with Astro Roadie instead.
All right, that should be back now.
It's because Astro Roadie's mic's superior. I'd have to turn him right down to match the levels. Welcome to the chat, Odie Backer. Thanks for joining the Total Space team for this launch this evening. What you're watching on screen is pre-curated B-roll, just while we wait for the Astro stream to go live. Hey, we got Stinger in the house.
Hey, Stinger. I'm back.
Just level them out. Just do some 1, 2, 3 testing for me a second, Joey.
Check 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
1,
testing
2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Is that about on par, guys? Would you say that's a little more leveled out?
Well, we are crisp and clean. That's a good sign. Thank you.
It's the fact that you've got like $7,000 sat in your setup. Nobody can match your audio or video or...
And I'm ordering a new camera next week. So that should be a little bit of fun to get set up. I don't know that I'm going to really be able to use it here in my studio, but I will be able to use it to go and point at some other interesting thing.
That's the
So,
biggest excuse for a sickie pull I've ever heard, Stinger. Meeting or launch, yeah. I'd be calling the boss and saying, sorry boss, I've got Rona.
yeah, come on, Stinger. Get your priorities straight, buddy. Well, tell your boss thank you for letting you come and hang out for just a minute. We appreciate it.
So, Stinger, I will send you a picture of something that's going to be travelling your way over the coming months as a gift to say thank you for being a supporter of Total Space. So keep an eye on your Discord inbox, my friend. I'll show you what we're working on.
Super Heavy's in the chat.
We've got Super Heavy, my good
Yeah,
friend from down under. It's a really good time for you guys in Oz. I'm not too sure on how great it is for me, but at least for you guys, it's a really great time.
it's not a bad time for me, other than I'm normally just going to sleep right now. So I'm staying up late, where I'm just getting ready to get in bed anyway. But by the time the rocket lifts off is when I'm normally heading to sleep. So no coffee for me, no caffeine. I can't even have a Mountain Dew right now, or I will not sleep, and that will make tomorrow morning at the other studio be very, very unpleasant. So I'm having myself a nice caffeine-free ginger ale instead.
I'm loading myself up on caffeine. 4:40 in San Francisco, perfect time for you guys. That's like I've clocked off. I've got beer in hand, launch the clock, kind of perfect time that, isn't it? 4:45.
It's funny. Scott Manley on Twitter today, he was talking about, well, hopefully the launch gets delayed by just enough that I can get home and watch it, and just enough that it hits the twilight hours. So for him, I hope that happens, but for me, I hope it goes off right on time, and I can get to bed.
1:45 a.m. The builder says I'm 1 hour behind you. The builders. I'm with Ryan on UK time. It's currently 1:45. It is launching from Vandenberg, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, SLC2 in Vandenberg. I know there is a payload on it, but I have not seen what's on it. I imagine Everyday Astronaut probably has some information on the payload on his website because he's talking to them. I just haven't had a chance to look it up. I got home from the other studio and immediately proceeded to get things ready for this stream this afternoon.
I hope so too, Johnny. I mean, SpaceX usually have really good fog shots, but I'm not too sure how many shots Astro will have available. So
Firefly?
I hope it's clear. Sorry, Firefly, not Astro. Way too many rocket companies in my head.
Oh, I can relate. I get them confused myself. So I will forgive you. Can we forgive another space nut? I think chat can forgive another space nut for something simple like that. It's not a big deal, right, chat?
Vandenberg is where the Falcon 1 went orbital, yeah. There you go. RLT has provided a link to a mission summary written for everyday astronaut. Sorry, Stinger, a new image will come over in a second, buddy.
Looks like we are just about 12 minutes until EDA is expected to go live. So I've been looking at pictures and watching static fire videos of this rock. Oh, that's supposed to be on quiet. One second, and I'll get that fixed. All right. So yeah, I've been watching pictures and tweets and static fire videos of this rocket for quite some time, and just have not been able to find a ton of information on it, and been way too busy researching other things for us to really look much into them. But what we were able to put together is included in the video that is linked in the description. There are 4 engines on the first stage and a different kind of engine, single, on the second stage. And there are some just, I mean, look at that cake go. Like, there are just some amazing static fire videos from FireFly out there. And it's just, I love how they had fun with this. With the birthday cake and all that, and then they've got this flight termination system test. I think they really just wanted to blow something up, personally, because, well, explosions can be kind of fun sometimes, in under controlled circumstances, of course. But yeah, quite a lot of fun this company's had. And it all started, for the present iteration of the company, with getting some composite tanks going. This should be better. Crispy cake. Yes, yes, yes. Crispy cake.
I just want to say I love how dedicated Mr. Astro Roadie is tonight as well, folks. Although he's in a really convenient time zone for this launch, he does live his life on a European time zone. So it's just as light a night for he as all of us guys here in Europe.
That is true. My day starts, I get up at 2 a.m. every day and go to my job at another studio where I run a lighting console and light up 2 stages or 16 shows during my shift, and those get broadcast. I am not supposed to disclose where that is or who that's for, but it's kind of fun. It's a very positive environment, and which is amazing because everybody there is up at about 2 o'clock in the morning. We get there at about 3, and everybody there is very positive and caring, and I just really enjoy it. And I wish I could tell everybody where it was. And I wish they'd let me take a camera in behind the scenes and show the audience what's going on there, because it's pretty neat. Now, Another Space Nut thinks I've got quite a studio set up Just a walk through the server room would be kind of fun to show a video of. But alas, they want to keep that quiet, so I can't talk too much about it. But yes, my day starts rather early, and then I get home and I start working on stuff for all of you. So I am happy and pleased as punch to be able to do what I'm doing with my life and be creative and share my creativity with an audience that loves to leave comments and click like buttons and subscribe buttons and things. See what I did there? See how smooth that was? I thought it was smooth. Maybe it wasn't so smooth, but you know.
I'd say it was smooth. We've just under 10 minutes until the show's due to start, guys. What you've seen behind Mr. Astro Roadie at present is pre-recorded B-roll footage. And we expect the live stream to start in under the next 10 minutes. As soon as it starts, we'll get that replacing that pre-recorded B-roll footage for you.
And we don't know what we're gonna see at first. We might just have an extra guest on the show, and may or may not be listening to what he's doing, depending on what his audio is doing. So we'll have to give that a little bit of a preview before we can bring the whole thing over to you, just to make sure.
This is the thing with me as well. I found that as working online became more acceptable, like I guess before it was cool, I was doing remote work with a few YouTube channels, but really across the whole pandemic, I've basically been upgrading for total space. A studio, I've got like green screen and microphone and all of a sudden like this big powerful setup. I still sort of like wake up every day and look, and I'm like, wow, I can't believe I did that.
Yeah, I think there's only one piece of equipment in front of me that I had before the pandemic, and that's my main machine that I bought for accounting purposes and playing video games, which I no longer have time to play video games, but it makes a pretty good editing machine. We're about 4 minutes away from EDA going live. I'm not used to that chat rolling so quick, but I've missed quite a few things. If I've missed it, then I apologize.
It's great to see such an active chat here tonight. I know it's late for me, so I'm quite shocked to see especially Europeans tune in, so thanks guys, much love. Great to see my brothers from down under here. We've got Stinger and Super Heavy Surround. Definitely worth a subscribe to Super Heavy Surround. I know what's coming soon, and that's just like worth anyone's subscription. I'll leave that link in the description of this video after the fact.
Graphics Gear has put together a little bit of a home studio as well. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I shouldn't complain about how fast our chat is going because I'm seeing how fast chat on EDA's channel is going, and it's a little bit faster. And there's quite a few people hanging out over there. That just makes me even more grateful for those of you that have chosen to come and hang out here, get a little bit more of a cozy little hangout with us, and be a little bit chill, and let someone else do the heavy lifting, and we'll just relax and cheer them on. Hey Max, welcome back. Recognize that name.
We've got a lot of regular faces in the chat. It's great to see Johnny Spacer here. Like, I know me and Johnny met over on Angry Astronaut's channel, and he's a really cool guy. And I know we did some interacting with Angry Astronaut, and Johnny found us through that. And it's really cool to see his face over here, because I see him there every Sunday, every Saturday when Angry Astronaut's live. And so it's cool to see like a regular face come over to Total Space and check out what we're doing.
Play something while people are watching or they get mad.
Stay angry. I've been putting that on the thank you card for the last couple of streams as well, just to try and banter along as well, Johnny.
No, I haven't experienced the What About It live chat yet. Oh.
Super Heavy Surround, that question is answered in the short FireFly video we did. That's live on the channel, and you can find out what kind of engines power their Alpha rocket.
I have two different ones, and I can't remember the names off the head. It's like EDA has started his intro roll.
So within the next minute or two, I'll push that through to the Total Space Studio as well, guys.
Johnny. That's not this channel. We're happy and cheerful over here.
Yeah, no, the builders, the EDA chat for me has always just been like the Wild West. I remember when EDA had like very little subscribers and the chat was somewhere you could go and hang out and get a response from Tim. Now it's just like the Wild West. You go there and it's like logging onto RuneScape or something. You just left to your own devices.
Yeah. I've seen a few verified names just zip by in the chat over there. As someone a minute ago was the builders. I see you haven't experienced the What About It live chat. I've watched some What About It streams, but not very many. And I'm not one that really participates in the chat a ton on other channels, just because I usually have something else I'm working on, and I can't pay too much attention to what's going on in chat. Or sometimes I will be active and I'm on a different account so that I can be whoever I want to be at that moment. I don't have to be Astro Roadie.
mean, I can vouch regarding the wide chat. Like, I've been there once again. I remember, like, back in the day with Benno and Stinger and the like, when it was just maybe 100 people in the chat. And then the last one we did, there were like 35,000 people, something like that, in the chat. It was just like most of the moderator team just gave up and watched the chat scrolling past at an unbelievable rate.
Yeah. He's still got a bunch of B-roll running. He's his intro tape still. So we're just gonna chill.
We'll just got adverts on that. We'll transition that back out.
Did we just give YouTube a free advert?
We did. There we go.
Oh, he's... It looks like he has transitioned to some other stuff. And
Put
it
it on
is...
screen. I can put that one big if you'd like.
Yeah, let's go big with it. He's got some footage that was not available to me. Together our little video.
Yeah, let us know where you're all from in the chat. We'll see if it works just the same here, where it just goes like a Tommy gun. Where is everybody tuning in from this evening, this morning, this afternoon? Whenever I'm live on YouTube and people ask me the time, I always think of, do you remember the Truman Show, Astro Roadie? Every morning he comes out of his house, he says, good morning, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. And I always think like that's how you operate when you're on YouTube. You just say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Yeah, it's a little tricky dealing with times all the way around the planet. I always in our Discord, I'm always finding out that someone's in a different time than I thought they were. We got Australia and the Netherlands chiming in. We got Texas and Pittsburgh and Germany chiming in. So we got both Sydney and Melbourne in Australia. I am coming at you live from almost all the way to Idaho, but still in Utah. I can almost throw a rock across the state line. That's an exaggeration. It's about a 15 to 20-minute drive, depending on how fast I go to get to the other side of the border.
And I'm in the north of England, which I'm loving this late night launch because nobody in my village is using any internet, so I get all the bandwidth for the area.
All your bandwidth are belong to me.
Well, the entire network in the area is generally supporting retirees. So when it comes to 1 a.m., 2 a.m., it means that the network just runs nice and smooth, so I can stream the best possible quality over to you guys. I say that like the EDA stream's not lagging for some reason.
Yeah.
But that's a YouTube to OBS issue more than a me issue.
Yeah, it's I'm seeing it lag on my end, the one piping it in, so it's definitely choppy, and their chat, the EDA channel is thumbs downing the video rather harsh, you know. So, they're saying, I think somebody just said that the stream had a run because the stream failed. Oh, yeah, it's wow. I wonder what's
Poor
making
Tim.
him so choppy.
He seems to just be cursed. I know whenever he was going live at Starbase originally, it was just like cursed, cursed, cursed. He's gone live today with an exclusive cursed. I just feel terrible for him.
Yeah, yeah, he's definitely had some challenging experiences.
When we're all on Starlink, life will be a lot easier. I know Mr. Astro Roadie uses Starlink, and I'm pretty jealous of that.
I have Starlink. I have it set up as my failover internet, but it's gotten to a point where I can't tell the difference anymore when it clicks over to Starlink. Uh, Other than it'll go completely dead from time to time when I'm on Starlink, but not very often anymore. So it's turned out to be pretty good. In fact, when I have a big file to upload, uh, I will often switch my network over to Starlink because the upload speed is considerably faster than my normal provider, but the download is the other way around just a little bit. So, and typically my normal provider is just a little bit more steady and strong. So I usually have it set up on there for my everyday driver, but they also have a pretty bad habit of deciding that it's time to reset their entire network in my area as soon as I start watching Netflix or some streaming TV or something, and out there goes my internet. It's just all tanked, and so I am very grateful to be able to have a backup plan. Looks like he has it partially fixed, maybe. Still a little bit jumpy. Not as bad as he was.
Those inter-satellite communications fire. I'm really bad at butchering names. This is why there's credit scrollers on the Patreon announcements so that I'm not butchering everybody's names. But you're right, they will make a difference. Those inter-satellite communications are going to be the key. Once it's less
Absolutely.
dependent on ground stations, people like Mr. Astro Roadie can have the confidence of not having it as a tick over internet, but actually a main source of interwebs.
Yeah, yeah. Comcast is my normal provider, which I actually don't even have to pay for because my neighbor lets me use it, and I've lived with my neighbor for oh, in the last 2 decades. I bet she's been my neighbor or roommate more than not. So we've lived in like 6 or 7 different places uh, under various living arrangements. Sometimes I've been in the basement troll and she's been the basement troll, and
The thing is, Johnny, he's got exclusive rights to stream it as well, so it's not like if his stream's failing, we can just pick up on another feed. So I really hope that he gets it fixed, because I mean, creator to creator, you know, like I can't imagine how much, like with Astro Roddy saying he was getting thumbs down, you know, that leads to decrease of support and things like that. So I hope he
Yeah.
manages to get it fixed soon.
Yeah. And plus it would put his ability to do things like this in the future at risk. And I hope he's successful with this, and or at least they know what the issue is, and that it's not hopefully not him, because it's great to see other content creators getting these exclusive deals, because I, for one, am very sick and tired of certain other launch providers' streams where we see a newsroom and they talk over the engine roar, and they show the newsroom more than they show the rocket. I mean, like right now, we got the rocket and the control room on screen, and Tim's waving his hands around and talking a little bit jittery. We get to see the rocket instead of a newsroom, and that's just great. So we've got about T minus 46.5 minutes till the scheduled launch time. We see all sorts of cryogenic stuff leaking out of the expansion ports on the rocket there. We got a little bit of hoofing going on. That's great. We haven't seen very many launches in Vandenberg year and a half. There's been, what, 3 or 4 that we've been able to see over that period of time? Like, it's just... Oh, looks like he may have got it.
Oh man, the meeting of two cat dads going on in chat right now is great. Stinger's a very proud cat dad. I'm sure you just made his day in saying that's a picture of your cat, Johnny. It very much does look like Bella. I don't think for a second, though, that Johnny's cat would be as much of a diva as Bella is.
Yeah, we are very, very spoiled by SpaceX streams. They don't do a lot of the newsroom stuff. And we get a little bit of the newsroom stuff on the NASA launches, but not so much. Those Starbase launches, we get a voiceover, and that's just epic. All we see is the rocket, and we hear a voice, and
We get Mr. John Insprucker.
Yeah, and he's kind enough to quiet up at the good parts. So I have not been able to get myself a cat since the last one. I had a cat that met a rather swift ending, and I just haven't been able to bring myself to get a replacement yet. It's been quite a few years, but depending on what my road life looks like in the near future, I may be getting myself a cat at some point here. I've been thinking about it. Or a dog. I like dogs too. But I think it'll be a couple more years before I can really think about a dog. I love them both. I'll just keep my little parakeet Spike, who's being really quiet back there. I imagine he'll start chirping at the worst possible time. And this microphone does pick him up, even though he's 20 some odd feet away.
Looks like we're still getting 3 frames a second from Tim. Poor Tim.
You know what? I'm gonna look at... Let's have a look at the internet outages map and see what comes up.
My stance on the dogs versus cats thing is this. I understand why people choose cats. Okay, if there was an end of world scenario and I didn't come back home, the cat would just eat the dog. Or it'd break free and it'd go survive. The dog would just sit and whimper by the door. So I kind of get, but like, I'm definitely a dog person. I think cats are basically secret gods and they understand that they can get worship and just fed and stroked and fussed by not interacting with you very often. So you see your cat on an evening and then it's like, oh, hello, cat, and you give it a fuss and stuff, and then you feed it and then it just does whatever the hell it wants the rest of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, people choose dogs and cats choose people. That's very right, Freya. Or Faya. I probably just butchered that. But it looks like there are some hubs that are down on the internet. So it may not be something that is... I mean, we've seen some of Tim's other streams where he's in front of SpaceX. SpaceX is more delayed than him, so we know he can do it. It's just one of those bad luck scenario things, I'm thinking. Have we checked his audio feed? Do we want to pull him up for a little bit? 15.
There is some music playing in the background on Tim's stream.
Okay. Even though that's probably his, but we probably shouldn't
still don't want to take that chance. I like...
Yep.
We're building a really amazing community and we're really close to the partner program, which means taking the community to the next step. And if I can, I'd like to avoid any potential content strikes.
Looks like he's got some of the stuff straightened out. Oh, he's got his checkout list. He's missing one though. I don't see a pointy end up and a flamey end down, but he may have done that in voice.
It's written across the bottom in the yellow banner. I can put it on big for you to see.
I've got the full screen on my big monitor there, so
across the bottom the yellow banner keeps switching to flamey end up, pointy end down coming up or something like that.
Poofed? Is that what that says? Poofed? That's a nice looking control room, FireFly. All matching desks in a row.
Yes, I like that grey. It's very edgy and new space.
I'd like to see the camera from the other corner, there, or that other camera that's in the background there. What's that one showing? Get a different view. What's on everybody's screens? It's just amazing how many things need to be monitored on a launch. You know, you probably got, you've got people monitoring, the building itself just to make sure that everybody's where they're supposed to be. You got people monitoring the pad. You got people monitoring communications with the rest of the Air Force Base because they are on a military facility. And then you've got, there's a size comparison. FireFly compared to Rocket Lab. Wow. I thought they were a lot similar in size. Shows what I know. But, they've got people monitoring fuel levels and temperatures, and is fuel getting to here and to there, and sorry, let me correct that. Propellant levels. I should know better than to call it fuel. Who am I? What have I been doing to screw up something like that? Oh, come on, everybody
Hang
can
him.
laugh in the chat.
He's not a witch.
He is a witch. Oh wait, no, I'm not. I'm not a witch. Yeah, Faya. A lot of new companies that have made it all the way to flight test through the pandemic. I mean, this pandemic killed a lot of businesses, and I'm surprised it didn't kill more of the space industry. I mean, we saw Bigelow go quiet, and who knows what we'll ever see of any of their technology ever again.
I mean, for me, it's summed up by private space expanding during a pandemic to a point where I could also realistically say, okay, can I grab a team of awesome space nerds together and start documenting some of this stuff? And it's allowed for this further expansion, this further economy. You know, there's a lot of news broadcasters, not just ourselves. There's Marcus and Felix and Tim, who's on screen right now, and things like that. And that allows us to be able to, turn our passion into a full-time job and being able to deliver content for you guys.
I hope we can turn it into a full-time job. We're not quite there yet, but I think we'll get there pretty quick. And it's amazing how far we have come with what we're able to throw at it already. Oh, I'm glad, and I'm sure all of you are glad that mute button is so close to, because you would all have bleeding ears right now if I hadn't been that fast. Oh, the air is so smoky where I live, and it's been so for so long that just sneeze, 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 cough, cough, sneeze, sneeze, cough. It's terribad.
So I just want to say thank you to the people that stuck around. We lost about a half-hour viewership when Tim Dodd went live. So it really does mean a lot that you'd want to come check this launch out from Total Space's perspective and hang out with us. Feel free to ask myself or Mr. Astro or Roadie some questions in the chat, and we will do our best to answer them.
Absolutely. Yes, thank you everyone who stuck around. And I'm going to be a little bit more faithful in our view. I'm going to pressed pause so they wouldn't miss anything. And they'll be right back.
Good question, Max. How expensive is the rocket, Mr. Astro Roadie?
It's right around 115 million per launch. Somewhere in that range, if my memory from putting the video together earlier this week. I spent most of my time doing the editing, and Anotherspacenut here was kind enough to throw together a little bit of a script and record the audio bit for us. So
we do have that video on the channel, Max. That's a bit of a deeper look at FireFly. Not too deep, otherwise I'd be Miko. But yeah, a little bit of back history on the company and a few numbers like explaining the engine and the cost per launch and things like that.
There's a link in the description to the stream, so you can just easily pop it open in another window and have a gander at it and not have to miss anything going on here if you don't want to.
Trying to work at this ungodly hour. Kudos, sir.
Graphics gear, I feel your pain. I feel your pain. Sometimes it's hard to get work done when there's a rocket stream going on. I'm pretty lucky at my job. I have chimed in on a few of our streams in chat while I'm doing my job, and I think even if the big boss knew, he'd probably just stand there and watch the launch with me. It's pretty funny. A lot of the engineers at the studio love to sit and ask me questions every day. What's going on out there? Did you see this video or that video? What the heck is this guy talking about? Well, Max, yes, Falcon 9 is cheaper and can do more. We need to remember that, or at least I try to remember, that FireFly is a new company. This is their first flight test, really. So they haven't had the years and years and years of development and refinement that SpaceX has had. I'm sure that cost will work its way down. And with the way the industry is right now, reusability is getting quite popular. So a lot of companies are, whether they've made announcements for it or not, are working on various levels of reusability. So we are starting to see a lot more of that, and I'm pretty confident that FireFly's numbers will come down. Just and some of those things depend on, like right now, getting liquid oxygen's a little bit expensive because the hospitals need it.
Falcon 1
and
launches were like, what, 150 million for Falcon 1 launches. This is their first generation rocket. They do have 2 further rockets planned. This is Alpha. There's also the B and C variants. And they're focusing on a lander, a moon lander as well, so that'll be interesting to see.
yeah, they actually had to kind of scrap their original design on a moon to a different design with a new name. So that's a little bit interesting. There's a little bit of information like that on the video in the description, but like Aaron was saying, we wanted to save some information for our teammate Miko to be able to do a deep dive, because he's so much better at diving into all that deep information than Anotherspacenut and myself are. So we like to not step on each other's toes too much here at Total Space Network. We like to let Rich do the becoming multiplanetary stuff, and Ryan does his space update at least once a week, and we got Deep Dive, which we've got. I think he's gonna put out a quick episode over the weekend for Deep Dive, but his one after that is gonna have some familiar scenery in it and should be
Not
very,
only
very
that,
interesting.
I also hear that same familiar scenery is going to have a similar edit done to it as well. So I think that the in-house team is producing it.
He is back home, Stinger, but he has not. He's still recuperating. He was out of town for a little bit, and he's back to work and things. And he's in bed right now, or he would be here. But yeah, he was gone forever, wasn't he? It seemed like he was gone for years. But we're glad he's back home safe and getting back to his productions. And we should start seeing some content from him again real soon here. In fact, he might even still be awake and just editing. He's usually in bed by. Yeah, we're not talking too much about that, but there's some familiar scenery out there that'll be in it. We don't want to give too much away. We want people to come back and watch it without knowing what it is. If you're really super curious and you haven't used that subscribe button, I'm just saying it's there. It's there. It doesn't cost you anything. You can click on it if you want.
So I just want to say a big thank you to 6 people in particular. You guys have stuck around through 137 people visiting this stream. And the same 6 people have been here since the start, so thank you like true soldiers.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at the channel analytics and we've had quite a few people clicking on the video and quite a few views already, and there's a few of you here that have stuck around through the whole thing. So we are grateful for that. Look at that rocket. I love the paint job that they've put on the lower portion there. Like the Phoenix looking thing at the bottom. You can't see it right now with the way the rocket's turned, but on the tilt up video that was kicking around on Twitter this morning, that was just fantastic. So looks like we get to stream over EDA's super chats. So everybody over there is going to be even more famous than they think they.
The thing is, Max, I understand that some big tubers do, miss a lot of questions. We try and answer everything in the chat, and as far as I'm concerned, everybody always laughs at the size of the moderator team here. But as we grow in size, that large moderator team means that we're going to be able to pick questions up more easily and things like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think the last stream I did, I actually had different things on different monitors. A little bit easier for me to actually see what was coming through on chat. I picked no. No, that would be even smaller, thank you. I'll just here's what maybe.
And remember, for any of you guys that are in the YouTube chat and you want to come hang out and talk with us here on the stream, you can do by just jumping over onto the Discord server if you've got access to it. I know quite a lot of you guys do, so feel free to just jump in there. As supporters, that is a perk. You can just come join us and talk about shiny rockets. If not, then you know what to do. Visit patreon.com/totalspace, and there you can unlock access to the Discord server. Come chat with us live on stream. Come get early access to shows and live previews of interviews with some of the guests we've had. We've even got a little something coming up for Patreon soon as a thank you to our existing and a few more limited number of Patreons.
Yeah, thank you, Aaron, for chiming in. It is beneficial. Coastal and aerospace. That's hilarious. We have been making quite a bit of effort to do as many of these streams as we can. I'm fortunate that my job puts me on the same sleep schedule as the United Kingdom, but that also means that almost all our entire host team is all on the same clock time. So we're also sleeping at the same time, and that makes it. We'll have more coming soon. Rocket is getting rather frosty, and it's got about T minus 20 minutes until liftoff. And if Mr. Producer can pull me off screen for a minute, I am going to disappear for just a few minutes while we wait for things to tick down just a little bit. And then I will be much more active and enjoyable for all of you. I'll be back in just a few minutes.
So what do we think, guys? Do we think it's going to be a launch or a bust? Do we think it's going to do the whole sideways mower action like Astro? Or do you think we're going to get some orbital action this evening? I mean, we are looking at a 2022 launch for the first rocket launch from UK soil for like 60 plus years. So the total space team will get there in the end. I think I need more caffeine. It is looking at trying to get an exclusive there, and potentially even do a meet up at the Shetland spaceport in Scotland. I mean, it'll
Right,
be
and that's me
exciting.
back.
I can put Mr. Astro already back on screen for you now, look. Pop.
Oh, hey, there I am.
Even give him his fancy little name card. We can push that in, look. Wow. It sort of like glimmers in and then like fades out, like burns out from the inside out, look. There we go. Whoop.
So, who is excited to see Tim's reaction here when things happen? No matter what happens, he is so expressive. Should I try to copy him, or should I just do a reaction to his reaction, or should I directly react to what we see on screen? Let us know in the chat.
I think we should get rocket reaction for Mr. Astro Roadie. That's true, Jude. I don't know that we will see that ever again from any rocket. Although it was so entertaining to watch that lift off. I was watching I know that
somebody's restream and it was quite fun.
I know that everybody was making memes of it the next day. The one thing I'm still surprised is that nobody put the Char-Char slide to it. Like, I saw lots of memes, but I didn't see any Char-Char slide. It would have been great, like a slide to the left, slide to the left.
Yeah, a little bit of back and forth. Maybe could have done a little bit of spinning. I was joking about around April Fool's Day, before we had seen a lot of last year, before we had seen a lot of the test flights. I was joking about, well, they want to come in and do this flip land. Why? Would be funny if Elon tweeted out, well, we actually decided we're going to do a pretzel knot landing. just for the April Fool's funsies of it. It seems very meme worthy that he would do something like that. That would be kind of fun.
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what progresses with SpaceX, because even Elon's doubtful that the first capture is going to be successful. I'm like, is it just going to paint bits of orbital launch tower across Boca Chica? Is it just going to leave like a crooked dint in it? I'm really curious to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, that could end up not being quite so fortunate for stage 0. I like that term for GSE, stage 0. It's just, it just rolls off the tongue so much easier. Definitely better than ground service equipment. So, getting a little bit more poofy action coming out of the rocket, or maybe it's just this angle. A little bit more frosty. Looks like the sun is coming at the rocket from the angle of the camera, and it's just warm enough on that carbon fiber rocket to keep it from frosting over where the logo is. That's pretty neat. Do you see some frost kind of creeping around the edges there, though? I love in some of these static fire videos where you can actually see you can't see it in the one he's showing now, but some of the other ones you actually see the dirt where the concrete ends start to blacken up and smoke from the heat.
And crispy cake as well.
The crispy cake. Yeah. That, like, I want to see more of that crispy cake, because like that needs to be like a tradition. Like whenever they're doing a static fire, hold off until it's somebody's birthday just to blast a cake or something, you know. I'm sure they can come up with a number of fun things to put in front of that engine plume. would be quite fun. What do you guys think would be fun for a rocket company to put in front of a static fire like that? Especially these full duration burns they're doing. that definitely would have some entertainment value for a lot of people, I think, especially with the current state of affairs and the public relations department and legal department over there at BO and their activities of late.
Like, the best tweet I've seen in the last week is, I don't get why everybody's saying Jeff Who when it's clearly Jeff Sue. I'm like, that's great.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, they could put one of those water powered toy New Shepard little water rockets in there. That might be kind of fun.
Speaking of water rockets, chat, what do we think of Arca Space? Do we think their scan powered dream rocket's going to orbit on water?
I think it's very ambitious to even try. And whether they fail or succeed, the fact that they're even trying is just cool to me. I mean, they're thinking outside the box and trying to innovate.
I mean, Musk tweeted saying that Jeff Who pretty much filed a lawsuit against SpaceX almost every day for a year. Like, how depressingly upset have you got to be at the HLS Awards to just file that many lawsuits?
Yeah. We maybe ought to remind ourselves we are Team Space, and all rockets are cool, even though sometimes the rocket companies and rocket agencies and space programs may do things that aren't quite so cool as the rockets they build.
Well,
So
I'm very much a fan of Team Blue. I think that the New Shepard fulfills a need in the market, despite a lot of people being upset with the idea of space tourism in general. I think the New Shepard fills a demand for a market that has the potential to A, grow, and B, bring about a new age of space. So Team Blue and their New Shepard, great. New Glenn, if it gets orbital, then Blue Origin have learned how to make engines, which is great as well.
Yeah. The thing that I have to remind myself about with Team Blue is their New Shepard rocket was never intended to be orbital. It was just meant to go straight up and come straight back down. And other than, it might have been their very first launch attempt, but if not, it was one of the early ones, has been their only failure in doing exactly what they set out to do. And that's just phenomenal for a new company to be able to have that kind of a track record right out the gate. And I wish the engineers and the builders and the factory workers and the artists that do the logos and paint work and everything else the best of luck on New Glenn, and hopefully we will see something more than just a Pathfinder shell and half of a fairing soon. I hope we really see that soon. As well as, yes, some of the aforementioned BE4 engines. We'd like to see some of those as well, so that we can see another new rocket come to fruition. That Vulcan Centaur. I really love ULA's approach to at least partial reusability of the most expensive part, and that's the engines. Trying to just disconnect the engines and save those, and that's definitely a creative solution.
I mean, I've got to agree with Jude in the chat saying that just get the BE4. Like, I know that Astrobotics have got a rover that's got a lot of private payloads from even some of my Team Space friends. And to see that was on hold and not launching because of a lack of BE4 engines, it just seems like Jeff Bezos has the time to file a lawsuit against SpaceX and Elon Musk almost every day for a year, but doesn't have time to see BE4 engine production overviewing. Are we okay? Look, he managed to hold it, ladies and gentlemen. A moment of silence for the sneeze that would have been.
Yeah, it's still teasing me. It's still teasing me. But it didn't come.
What do you think, chat? Is it gonna come? Is it gonna strike at an inopportune moment for Mr. Astro, Roadie?
Everybody get ready to rip off your headphones. Yeah.
Man, you Europeans are hardcore. It's like 3 a.m. for you guys. Kudos. Kudos indeed, yo.
Oh, excuse me. 3 a.m. Wow. I know what 3 a.m. feels like every single day.
Man, I was like watching time creep by, and I was like, I'm gonna need to sleep before doing this stream. Got right up until 9 o'clock before I dozed off. I like at 11:45 to stream. Mr. Astro Roadie adding to the cloud effect here on screen, ladies and gentlemen, shows the dedication of our host team.
Yeah, we try to bring a little bit of Disney magic. It's all smoke and mirrors, though, on the back end. We are just under T-minus 5 minutes.
And as always, guys, we will drop Mr. Astro Roadie's audio in favour of the stream audio for that last critical minute and preceding couple of minutes of rockety raw goodness.
Yes, we will not do what I am so critical of, especially the bigger rocket companies. I'm not going to sit and talk over the engine roar because I personally, I don't know about all of you in chat, I have a suspicion, but I don't know for sure, that I love to hear that engine roar. You know, my favorite parts of a rocket launch are the jellyfish and the sound of the engine roar. That watching that engine plume out and the condensation air plumes on the rocket as it goes up in the air, like those are three of my most favorite things. And then, you know, with SpaceX, we also get those fantastic landings. What do you guys think of that landing? First landing on a short fall of gravitas the other day. Was that epic? I thought it was almost not quite as epic as a Falcon Heavy landing.
I thought it was really nice. I like how stylish and edgy and cyberpunky a short fall of gravitas looks.
Yeah, they
like you're talking about the jellyfish and the plume of smoke and hitting max Q and breaking the barrier and across the front of the rocket and stuff. This is exactly why once a week I go to a special place, I stand up and say, "Hi, I'm another space nut and I'm a launch junkie."
I need to get one of those groups started in my area. The nearest one is way too far away.
It's like Fight Club, but for nerds.
Free pocket calculator with joining up.
You know that. And you get 2 lunch monies in case you get beaten up for the first one as well.
Yeah. Or if you're a well-to-do nerd, you can upgrade and get the abacus, the pocket abacus.
Or a pager.
Ooh. Now that's some serious. These days, that is some serious nerd there. All right, we are at about a minute and a half. Maybe it's time for another Space Nut and Astro Roadie to quiet down, and let's shift over audio
Operators
perhaps
declare abort
to
on
EDA
Q1
and
and
see
VC
what
will
we can
abort the
hear.
auto. Thank you.
$60.
So they will begin engine ignition at T-minus just about 2 seconds. So
Please do his thing.
we'll see the green flash around then. And our clock might be a tiny bit off. We apologize for that if it is within a couple seconds, but it's good enough for now.
30 seconds.
VC verify alpha transition to autonomous
Autonomous.
mode. RC give the final 10-second countdown on the net with positive calls.
Abort. Which we've aborted.
I think they're going.
Confirm there are no fires on the video.
See no fires on the video.
GC close world purges.
Oh, was that an abort? That was
VC confirm the following 3 valves are closed.
World
okay,
purge closed.
did
3 valves are closed.
Confirm helium bubble is
Abort.
active.
Helium bubble's active.
Confirm
Looks
SM
like
fuel
we
tank
have an
between
abort
34
lead.
and 6 psia.
Maintaining pressure.
And all other tanks
Let's
are
see if
Vented.
they've got time to
confirm the following
recycle
T-type tank is vented.
and try again.
Vented.
Confirm TBC tank is vented.
Venting.
Confirm spin system is vented and cavity purges are active. VC verify the following. C Rio is in the release safe state.
Standby 1.
Spin system is vented. Cavity purges are active.
Thank you.
Now, just a little heads up, guys.
Cheerios in the safe state.
Friendly reminder
Please
here that
confirm
this
vehicle
vehicle, they do have a
FSW
4-hour
manual
launch
state
window, so
and
it's
the auto sequence.
not over yet.
They've put the
They
strong arm
actually
back up around the rocket,
when they did their
and we
static
do
fire,
have a
they actually were able to
4-hour
set
launch
fires
window.
during
I'm
their
hoping
window,
it
so-
doesn't take that long to get this thing off the pad safely. So I can do that. Not an issue. Well, we can cross that bridge when we get to it. We're going to wait and see if we get a recycle on the countdown. We are gifted to have a 4-hour window, so we will see what happens then. I'm going to be kind of quiet and try and listen in on what Tim has to say so that maybe we can figure out what's going on. I think I'm okay. That would be producer's call. They are going to attempt another. If they ran out of cake. That's the problem. They forgot the cake. That's why we had a last minute abort here. No cake. How dare they?
Take
It
care,
must
Max.
not.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah. Have a good one, Max. Thanks for coming. You can catch the replay later. We will leave this video up. So. Yes. Yeah. Looks like FireFly has put together a bunch of new stuff, or let Tim put together a bunch of new stuff. I'm anxious to sit and look at what they've got for new B-roll. Maybe we can get enough additional B-roll for a good old-fashioned Miko deep dive coming up. Maybe there's some good stuff in here. More than just static fires. Jude, what is the cycle time? I don't know that. It might be different for a recycle than for an initial fueling and everything. I imagine we will have some on-screen information pretty quick as to a new T-minus. I think from what we're able to find here, and this is just kind of a guess, there's not a lot of information out there. Again, this is a prototype, but we're going to guess somewhere between 30 minutes and an hour we should be recycled. All right, builders, you have a great morning, and we will catch you on the next stream.
Take
Come
care,
back
my friend.
next time.
Thank you for stopping by.
It looks like they don't do a full detanking and then refueling. which
See you
some
shortly,
rockets they
Jude. Oh, sorry, I interrupted. Sorry.
have a good one, Jude. Enjoy the dog walk. There are some rockets that do need to fully empty the tank in order to refuel because they have to know exactly how much is in there, and when they have a blowout or have to recycle in any way, they don't have the exact amount of fuel in there they need and no way to verify that they've got enough fuel in. So they just empty the whole thing and reload it. Can't think of any examples off the top of my head, but I know especially older ones that were that way. Modern rockets, maybe we don't see that so much anymore. The frost line doesn't appear to have moved, but it's only been a couple of minutes, so you may not see that. Yeah. Ooh. Excuse me. The yawns are catching up with me. Well, if somebody's looking for a job, they're hiring. And they are based a little bit outside of Austin, Texas. So that would put you not far away from other exciting rocket things. I mean, well, as far as Texas goes, everything in Texas is pretty spread out. I'm not sure what's worse, Texas, Wyoming, or Nebraska. Everything is just I don't know. I haven't been there, but I believe everything is bigger. It's at least further apart. That's true. It might. Yeah, I don't remember if it was a fuel type issue or what. But I remember seeing some launches years back where they actually talked about having to take all the fuel out in order to know how much they've actually got in it. So hopefully that's not something we're seeing. I mean, hey, look at that. We've got 26 views in the last hour on our little short Who is FireFly video. I hope that's not just the people in the chat here watching this stream just recycling that. But I mean, if that's what you want to do, you are welcome to do that. That doesn't really offend me. But that's true as well. That is true as well. And quite all right. I should have thought ahead and sent you a version of that file, or sent you yeah, that's true. What do you guys think in the chat? Will it be 10 minutes before we get a T minus, or longer, or shorter? What about episode ideas? If you're familiar with our channel, what would be some good becoming multiplanetary episodes, or some deep dive episodes that you would like to have us put together for you? or we have space update as well. Is there a particular topic that could get more coverage on the news show, or is there a particular company you want us to try to get a hold of and do an interview with, or a particular person? Even there are a lot of people in the space sector besides just companies. There's a lot of people at various agencies. Is there somebody you would like us to get a hold of and try and bring on the show as some sort of guest? We would love to hear about it. No, I've got the chat popped out giant on one of my monitors now. It just took me a minute to fix it. So we're good. Discord would be even smaller than it was. So thank you. Sorry, I'm just responding to another space nut there. He's chiming in my ear, and it's hard to respond to him without actually saying something. Sometimes I can just nod my head. Other times I actually need to say something. So, oh, we have T minus 45 minutes on the clock. Yay, we got the clock back. So that will put us at about 8 o'clock p.m. my time. And hopefully, whatever the issue was doesn't happen again. Oh, yeah, should be very, very good and interesting. Okay, I'll
My dog also gets annoyed with light rain. It's like there's a invisible force field at the door when there's a slight bit of rain. We're just having a bit of an issue piping Astro Roadie's web camera connection across the Atlantic. So for your viewing pleasure, I've just taken that fuzzy screen away for a few minutes while we fix that issue, folks. I apologise for the inconvenience.
Ah, somebody forgot that I had my own mute button. Muted me as well. All right. So I've been talking, and we apologize for that. We are back. It might come back up. Maybe. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. Uh-oh. Come on. That's okay. Yeah. Okay, let's see. I can come over here. Go to here. Angle. We can have. Yeah, that'd be great. Perfect. While Tim figures out his stream, we're just gonna look at my beautiful beard for a minute. Come on, what's going on here? This the stream is definitely kicked down in quality, if it's still even running. Looks like it's running. It might have just hiccuped out. But it is in potato mode again, like it. So we're just gonna look at my lovely beard here and chat with all of you. I'll see if I can get the chat window back up in my face. There we go. And yeah, there's definitely a lot going on. Dog was annoyed with some light rain. One thing that has become very encouraging is that commercial post-launch seems to be exploding. Yeah. 1 second. There you go. Okay. Too many buttons in front of me. Okay. So, yeah. Feed is definitely still a little choppy. But the clock seems to be running without... Oh, I spoke too soon. Too many hiccups. Yeah, that Starbase tour with Elon that Tim did, that was a fantastic 3-part series. I was hoping for part 3 to be a little bit more than it was. But it was super cool for the cameras to get up and walk around the orbital launch tower and orbital launch mount, sorry. And talk to some of the on the ground crew and see what was going on. But I don't know. I guess my expectations were just a little bit too high after, part 2 and part 1 showing the forest of Raptor engines and, standing right next to that enormous dinosaur trap of a grid fin and all those things. Like, oh, it was just fantastic seeing those things. So, it's great that Tim was able to put that together for us, and that Elon was willing to do it. And Elon is super busy, not just with SpaceX, as anyone who follows him knows. He's got a few things on his plate, and that means he's pretty busy with a lot. Got a handful of companies that he's directly involved with, varying levels of involvement. I mean, can you imagine just shifting gears? One day you're talking to an engineering team about chopsticks on a freaking Mechazilla, and the next day you're talking to a different team about a new AI bot that your team's working on. And I mean, and then you're going to another company and talking to somebody about wanting to do it's not a flamethrower version 2. So that's possible. May have thought they were showing too much, but I mean, to an extent, I mean, there are some things that like ITAR applies to that aren't supposed to be shared, and there are other things that are just SpaceX property that maybe they don't want to share. But I mean, like Elon was saying, I mean, somebody can drive by with a cell phone and take a picture of it. It's just sitting out there I mean, 2 years ago it was just a field out there, not much more. So yeah, it is possible that maybe they just wanted to show what they wanted to show. I think more than that, it was just time availability for Elon. He ran out to the pad and they ran around and got a quick update on the orbital launch table, and then he was whisked out of there by his team. Man, this potato mode. Oh my. At best, we're able to do a 720 on this right now. Are you able to get that good, Mr. Producer? Yeah. Tim's broadcast is at 720 at the moment. My personal viewing monitor watching his stream was oh, we have an ad again. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. We got a backup. Well, we've got the. He might be doing a little bit of a rewind. The shot just a second ago with the strong back pulled back again. So that may have just been a rewind. We are sitting at just about T-minus 30 minutes, which is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I really hope that we are able to get this thing off the ground on this next attempt. Because that would just be awesome. What do you guys want to see? Let us know in the chat. Do you want to see a successful rocket, or are you a little bit more devious and whatnot like myself? I want to see it succeed, but I'm not going to complain if we see something a little bit more dramatic and exciting. How about I put it that way? Yes, it is still frosty. It is still frosty. And just the views out there of Vandenberg, just nice. And just with the camera pointed, looks like out to sea on that camera right there. Hard to tell. I'm not real familiar with what it looks like on the ground. But really fairly blue skies, considering half the state is on fire. I think they've got more clear skies over there than I do here. Of course, half the smoke from the state is coming straight at me. Like, if you look at the wind pattern, everything from Washington is coming down at me. Everything from California is coming up at me and just kind of forming this jet stream. And then right before it hits me, it slows down. So the smoke just gets stuck right in my area. And how would it be to be so cool that, you know, so many other verified creators are popping into chat on my channel. I think that'd be fantastic if some of these other big creators popped in. I mean, we've done some work with some of the other creators that are out there and had them on as guests for the show and whatnot. But there are a few that are just a little bit bigger than would be willing to do that, or just don't do that sort of thing. It would be just kind of neat to have a hello from some of these guys. Just pop into chat and wave, and then off they go. That'd just make my day, I think. That would make my day. No, that won't be necessary. I mean, I pop into their chat all the time, but I'm not verified. So there's just like, oh, some other dudes in the chat waving. Just like every one of the other 9 billion people in the chat. They're all waving and throwing in their little memes or whatever they're throwing in there. I don't stand out in the crowd in chat. not like I do in person with the little bit of scruff on my chin. We have a lot of great ideas coming down the pipeline. Audience out there. We should see a new deep dive pretty soon here. as well as I think the one after that I mentioned earlier will be a little bit more exciting and have some familiar scenery in it. And then we always have at least one space update every week with Ryan, and that's always good. And not quite sure yet what's going to be happening with BM next. Rich LB has just finished the exoplanet special with Martian Colonist and myself, and is taking a little bit of a break because he had to put a lot of time and hours into that, and so he's gonna take it easy for a few days and probably get the creative juices flowing in his head and come up with some ideas for what's next for him. And he was going to be joining us on the stream tonight, but he decided that he probably best get some rest. So hopefully he's getting some much needed rest, and we will see him on screen again soon. And then myself and another space nut, as well as some other newer members of the team, are working on a few various little projects here and there that will increase the amount of content we've got coming out. We've just totally revamped our workflow so that hopefully once we get everything back up to speed and iron out a few kinks here and there, our content will be coming straight to you just a little bit faster. So hopefully everybody has clicked on the buttons that will let you know when we post new content. And if you're not into doing that, that's just fine. There's always the search bars and buttons and things like that can help you find us if you ever decide that you want to push those buttons in the future. And we got going on. We are at getting close to T-minus 23. Every time I move the mouse over there, I'm expecting things to not be quite so blurry, but it just puts a big thing right over the time clock, so I can't see it. But yes, we are still in potato mode, it looks like, over there. Yeah, it keeps kicking down pretty low resolution, so hopefully that gets sorted quickly. Oh, it's like he's attempting to do HD again. Let's try that, see if it stays up. That speed should reach across the pond in just a minute here, so that Mr. Producer can make a decision as to whether we can get enough of a signal strength to pipe the feedback over to the audience here. So if you're one of those people that click and like buttons and subscribe buttons is not your thing, you with more of a financial contribution, we do have Patreon set up, patreon.com/totalspace, and we have numerous levels where you can subscribe to us there. And some of the rewards that come with that are access to our Discord, where you can hang out with us when we're just farting around, or sometimes we're working on content and you catch little previews of what we're in the middle of. Even sometimes script writing, you get access to videos when they are finished, sometimes without even B-roll, and you can hear and see what it looks like at various stages of completion. You also get to listen in and ask questions when we do interviews and things, which we do like to do our interviews over here at Total Space. We've got quite a library of interviews that are available on the channel, and we love hearing from our audience and our patrons with their questions, and we usually are able to get those questions from chat and into the video and ask our guests those questions as well. So that's kind of a fun little thing. And if there's something that you think should be on that Patreon reward list, and it's keeping you from maybe picking one of those levels, why don't you leave a comment for us, and we will see what we can do to accommodate that. Yes, there is a contact us form on our website. You are welcome to use that to get a and let us know what you like or don't like, or there's the regular chat that will be available on this video after the stream is closed and on the replay. So there's plenty of ways to get a hold of us. Again, if you want to send us an email or something, we have a contact form on our website, totalspace.net. And it feels like all that took a good 30 minutes to say. And so we are at T-minus 19 minutes. And still have a frosty rock. That's a good sign. All sorts of blinking lights for the overhead lights around the launch pad. Looks like just me, or is it starting to get a little bit darker out there? Maybe that's just the maybe that's just some fog rolling in, or I can't even tell if that's the ocean around. Like, I'm not real familiar with Vandenberg. We don't see a lot of streams coming from out that way. A lot of launches, and there certainly have been very few since we entered this pandemic mode here on Earth. Hopefully that does not last too much longer. Let's see. Take a look here. What's going on? Very nice. It is late. So, I mean, half the world is asleep right now, and the other half eating dinner and getting ready for bed. Man, that's fantastic. All right, let's go back. Where was one? Let's see. Let's go here. see what we've got. See if I can bring up a little information. All right. So we are watching FLTA 001 or Dream, which is Firefly's first mission. The rocket is Alpha. Slick 2 Vandenberg Air Force Base. Boy, I can say it, but I can't read it and say it at the same time. Do not give me a stick of gum right now. There are about 200 pounds of mass being put up to a 300 kilometer at 137 degrees inclination. First stage should crash down somewhere in the Pacific. Probably not long after launch. This is the first launch of Alpha. This is the first launch for FireFly. This is the second launch from Vandenberg in 2021, and the 85th orbital launch attempt of 2021. I think that's global. I don't know. I would assume that he's counting everybody. I thought the number was a little higher than that. I'm sure he knows. He's got staff to keep track of these things. So, I just scroll past there. They're sending some random stuff up. The Elon's famous wheel of cheese or his roaster. Doesn't say specifically. And then Libra Space Foundation, Picobus Cubic 1 and 2. Or is it 1/2? I'm not sure how we're intended to read that. We are at 12 minutes. I'm going to keep scanning through this and see if we can find some information. Libra Space is a non-profit from Athens, Greece. Making pocket cubes. Even smaller than regular CubeSats. About 5 centimeters cubed. A maximum weight of 250 grams. Dang. So basically that's a Raspberry Pi with a good sized battery and some sensors. I mean, probably a little bit more complicated than a Raspberry. Probably not far off a Raspberry Pi or Arduino or something. Their Picobus can can deploy up to 8 pocket cubes. And they are going for 6 on this launch, it looks like. And 2 of which are their own tests. And I believe we are still talking about LibraSpace. So LibraSpace is testing 2 of their own satellites, and then they have, it looks like 4 more that they've built for others. Interesting. Some interesting pictures and things. If after the stream you want to check out the launch information on Everyday Astronaut, that is totally, you are welcome to do that. A lot of good information there. And a graphic showing Electron and Firefly side by side. It's just amazing. I always forget that Electron is small. Like it's really a small rocket, you know. For some reason I had it in my head that Firefly was pretty similarly sized, and it's not. I was wrong on that one. So very interesting things there. So that's the one I want back up here. Yeah, what do you guys think of Virgin Galactic being grounded by the FAA for some warning lights and getting outside of the safe fly zone on Richard Branson's flight? What do you guys think about that? Cheesecake would be cool for Firefly. Yes, Starship is playing with our I think I've seen some cursed rockets that people have put together where they've strapped like a dozen electrons going around the base of Starship just as boosters. All right, T-minus 7.5 minutes. Oh, I have got my fingers crossed because it is bedtime for Astro Roadie. And I can tell by Mr. Producer Man, Anotherspacenut, he is ready to be asleep already as well. So, fingers crossed, everybody, that we have happen whatever is going to be happening. And hopefully, it is a liftoff. Followed by Max Q, and followed by second stage separation, and second engine start, and fairing deploy, and all of those fancy fun things. I have no idea if we have any on-flight cameras. I don't remember seeing any cameras pointed up or down on the rocket. Scene that I recall is just these distance views pointed at the rocket. I've seen two of them. How many have you guys seen? Jude says, I think Virgin will get past the FAA. With pilots in the control loop, they will be a bit more forgiving. Yeah, possibly. The having the pilot in the loop, you know, if the computer says you're pointed at the ground, but you're looking out the front window and you see you're pointed up at the sky where you're trying to go, being able to make that call. We have strong back pulling back right now, disconnecting, retracting. That's the word I'm looking for. Strong back retract. Fantastic. T minus 5 minutes. So having the pilot in the loop to make those kind of calls is definitely advantageous. But I think that actually makes it a bigger concern for the FAA because they want to know that the pilots are making the right calls and have the right information in front of them. And if they're getting the wrong kinds of information, they're going to want some changes to be made before the next flight. I don't think that this will be a long delay, and we will have a return to flight in a timely manner for Virgin Galactic. In the meantime, Virgin Orbit will be launching again fairly soon. Maybe. T minus a little less than 4 minutes. All right. Crispy cake. Yes, I think you are right, Thea. England would love for Branson to bring his toys home, and if oh, don't say that in the back channel. I'm trying to talk, buddy. Why? Uh, if you go take a look at some of the videos on our channel, we have a rather recent on-site interview at Spaceport Cornwall with Launcher One as the backdrop for Ryan and the space update and his special guest for the interview. So if you haven't seen that, go ahead and check it out. Maybe we can get a link to it in chat for people. Right. Okay, we will get that up in chat for you, everybody, in just a few minutes. And maybe after we're done in post, I will make sure it's in the description for anyone watching this on a replay. It is the team's first on-site shoot, and Ryan was able to do it with the help of basically just his missus, and the two of them shot the whole thing and recorded it, and it turned out really well, especially for a first-time go. All right, we are at 1 minute, so I'm going to take a hush and mute my microphone and bring it back up once we see something else going on. Enjoy listening.
60 seconds.
Oxic press has started.
Trench cams looking awfully condensed there.
To stop the count, operators please declare abort, abort, abort on CD1, and VC will abort the auto sequence. VC at T-minus 30 seconds, verify alpha transitions to autonomous.
30 seconds.
O2 engine levels are at 2%.
$20.
Oh, geez, that little bit of gimbal there.
15.
Here we go. Good luck,
10.
Firefly.
9. 8. 7. 6. 5.
Abort.
4. 3. 1. Zero, Zulu.
RC transition operation procedures to PRC NLP 1435, IT commits to PRC NLP 1457, report anomaly. Please confirm I have no fires on the pad. I have no visual. Please confirm no fires on the pad. Moving to ground.
I'm looking. I'm about to send them all to pad sweep. Cameras are sweeping the pad.
Plus 32 seconds.
Stage 2 pressure's up.
Drop call.
Prop is nominal.
Oh my god, they're doing it.
GNC.
I'm seeing a dip in VMAG.
There's no
Again,
there's no fires on the pad.
Avionics.
Responding AVI. S1 pressure profile nominal. Avionics power nominal.
Telemetry first ever attempt. This is their first ever attempt at going to space and going into orbit ever. And they're coming up right now on maximum aerodynamic pressure. That is the moment where the vehicle will experience
Plus 130.
the most amount of aerodynamic pressure. So this is when you're really testing your fuselage. Is it going to hold up? We are going through that right now. So the vehicle is clearly holding up. That is a great milestone. We might even hear Max Q call out on the comms
Not yet
net.
supersonic.
Not yet supersonic. That's maybe not great. The vehicle, there's a chance it could be slightly underperforming, but again, we'll wait to hear official call outs here. But this, again, first launch attempt ever of this vehicle. It's unbelievable. They got off on their first try on their first day of their first attempt ever. This is unbelievable. Again, if that's going to be.
All right. How was that? Was that awesome? Oh. We have an anomaly. Let's give a big shout out to FireFly for a successful liftoff. Hopefully they were able to get enough data back on that they know what's going on and they can make corrections for their next attempt. That was neat. That was so cool. That was so cool. I mean, it looked like it definitely didn't do any horizontal sliding. So, that's a plus, right? Oh, man. Yeah, let's have a little bit of a replay from ignition start, maybe. And we can watch that a little bit again.
Zulu.
RC transition operation procedures to PRC NLP 1435. IT commence PRC NLP 1457. Report anomaly. Please confirm I have no fires on the pad. I have no visual. Please confirm no fires on the pad. Moving to ground.
I'm looking. I'm about to send them all to pad sweep.
Wonderful.
Cameras are
Okay.
sweeping the pad.
Plus
So
32 seconds.
we have.
Stage 2 pressure's up. Prop call.
Yep.
Prop is nominal.
Oh my God, they're doing it.
GNC.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So yeah, there was no boom on the pad. That's good.
6.
Didn't do an Astro slide or Astro glide. Now that sounds a little bit too much like something else. Yeah, so that was good. And I agree, Vampre, Thea Vampre, that it looked like they were going to pull it off. That looked like it was going to be successful. I mean, we got some decent shots of it. You know, we see a little bit of the engine plume kind of flaring out a little bit at higher in altitude.
Stage 2 pressure's up. Prop call.
Maybe we'll be lucky enough that the next launch will have some onboard cameras. We can.
They're doing it.
Oh, there is the one onboard camera there. I don't know how I missed that while I was staring at it.
There's no.
I'm tired.
Fires on the pad.
I am tired, I'll tell you.
Responding AVI.
Yeah, it didn't go sideways and it did go pointy end. Those are both really, really good things.
S1 pressure profile nominal.
So, you know,
Avionics, power, nominal.
it kept going.
The
Telemetry
first
is
ever
nominal.
attempt. This is their first ever attempt.
Yeah, so we've got
Ever. And they're coming up right now on
a little bit of a replay going on here. We are just about back to the anomaly.
most amount of aerodynamic pressure. So
And,
this is
yeah.
really testing your fuselage.
Wow.
If you want to
Isn't this,
hold up,
like,
we are going through that right now.
first
So the vehicle
attempt?
is
There's
holding up
a view inside of the...
We might even hear Max Q call out.
And, you know,
on the
it
comms net.
did not... It doesn't appear to have reached max Q or sonic speeds. So... supersonic speeds, I'm sorry. So there may have been some underperformance, similar to the underperforming that another company just recently experienced, even though they were a little bit more sideways. And I think this launch lasted quite a bit longer than the one from last Saturday. So yeah. Here we go on the replay.
Wow. That's a good
Anomaly.
And there we have our anomaly.
Anomaly teamed at procedure MLP.
So, they are tweeting out.
shoot.
Alpha experienced an anomaly during first stage ascent that resulted in the loss of the information.
Man.
Additional details will be provided. So
Oh, that was impressive.
we'll
though.
try and keep an eye on things.
That was impressive.
Both myself and our
Actually speaking,
awesome
I
producer
think
are
they would
at the
go for it.
end of the day's rope here.
No opportunity
So
ever.
we are probably not going to keep going too much longer. We'll give it a few more minutes, see if we can get some more news on what has happened and maybe when we can expect to see another attempt. But it might be a while before we get that kind of information. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the other backdrop if you want to kill the chroma, Mr. Producer. Here it comes. So there we go. All right. So yeah, we have witnessed FireFly's first ever launch attempt and FireFly's first flight of their brand new prototype rocket, Alpha. It looked like, yes, and we all need to keep in mind, myself included, I'm glad my ear reminding that failures can be just as educational and teaching as a success. In fact, sometimes more. So hopefully FireFly is able to make some adjustments. Maybe they're even just minor things that just added up in the wrong way. And hopefully we see another attempt fairly soon. Keep an eye on our channel. Space update or some other episode, we will definitely bring this news to you as soon as we hear something about either what has happened to cause the anomaly and or when the next attempt might be. Once again, if you do like what we do here, you can go check out our website and find links to all sorts of different ways to support us. And that is totalspace.net. You're welcome to follow us on Twitter. There's a bunch of links down in the description for our social media presence, which is pretty much just Twitter. And yeah, thank you everybody for coming. And, it's been great chatting with so many of you. It's been great to see some return viewers come back. And I hope many of you make another return. This has been a fun little launch. Oh yes. We cannot end the stream without doing, oh no, I gotta do it right here. Come on. Capitalize that F and throw it out there. So yeah, let's go ahead and thanks again one more time to everybody who joined us, participated in the chat, or even those who just came by and watched for a few minutes. Thank you. Again, one more big shout out to Tim, the Everyday Astronaut, for allowing us to restream this and bring it straight to you. And best of luck and wishes to FireFly. We hope to see another attempt again soon. And let's go ahead and roll our outro.